We're live. Hello, everyone. I'm here with two wonderful, amazing people and probably a whole lot of ghosts. So let me introduce you. Linda Rizzoli, you probably know her because we're on her page. She's a phenomenal Talk the Indies facilitator, certified facilitator, all the amazing things. Linda, thank you for being here.
Oh, thanks, Cass.
And this is my lovely old-time friend. We've been friends forever. Chris Rostecki. She has crazy entity awareness, some really cool stories, and we've been talking about entities for a long time. I'm excited to be here today because we are going to dive into some ghost stories together. What were those Halloween buttons? You know what? Those Halloween buttons where like suddenly like, whoa.
It makes the classic ghost noise. Yeah. Hilarious.
Yeah, so good. So, okay, why ghost stories? Let's start there. So we were talking, so Linda's coming to where Chris and I live in Kelowna, BC, Canada, to facilitate a Talk to the Entities intro class. It's also online, just a little shameless plug there. But we were talking about kind of these stories that people have of like, it could be stuff with like ghost animals. It could be, I have some weird camping ones. And so we started to look at like this kind of magical, mysterious world of the ghost stories of the spirit world actually reaching out to us, and the fun that we could have actually engaging with those stories and exploring them a little bit here together. Yeah. So we asked you guys to write in and send us ghost stories, and you did. And we have some that we're going to play with today. Sorry, Linda, what did you want to say?
We have lots.
I was just going to say, there is just something, I don't know, we all know that there is something else possible. Maybe we are all aware that there's a whole other realm of beings that we just can't see. And I think maybe that's the attraction of ghost stories, because ever since I was little, I have this like, I want to hear them and oh my gosh, but I want to hear more, but oh my gosh.
Yes. So true. I used to like obsessively watch, there was like a TV show called Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Yep.
Yeah. And in Canada anyways, and I loved it. I was like, yeah, but I was scared too. I'm like, but I can't stop. Like I need more.
It was addictive and terrifying. There was also like Goosebumps. Did you see that one?
Yes. Yeah, I did watch Goosebumps.
Yeah. How is there such a chicken about it though?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, all welcome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's interesting how much we know even as kids, you know, and what we actually perceive and are aware of.
Yeah.
Yeah. Linda, I want to, before we get into the ghost stories, I wanted a little bit of being a Talk to Entities certified facilitator. Like, what is that like for you to like?
Oh my God. It's been better than therapy. 100%. Way better than going to therapy, because there was all of these things about how I would behave and the way I would like feel, and like depression, anxiety. Like I slept with my light on probably till I was 45. Because I would wake up at night with these like deep tears of not knowing who I was or where I was or what was going on. And so when I heard about Talk to the Entities, I kind of like read it. I was like in the closet with entities.
It's such a good picture.
So I actually read the book. There's a book written by Shannon O'Hara, Talk to the Entities. It's her story. And I read it on Kindle so no one could see what book I was reading in my family. And I just like took my little bit of curiosity, even in my closet, and I just learned more and more and went to classes. And each class that I went to, each book that I read, each little even thing like this, a live that I would engage, I would get a little bit more settled and spacious and calm. There would be more peace and calm in my world. It wasn't one switch that I flipped. It was a little bit at a time of peace and calm beginning to infiltrate my world as I acknowledged that some of those sensations and feelings that I was experiencing were actually my awareness of entities.
Wow. Yeah.
Hmm.
Very cool. So better than therapy.
Better than therapy. Yeah.
It does. It does make it.
Jumping into that.
Go.
Oh, sorry, didn't mean to
No, go ahead.
step on you. No, I was just saying, I was like, I feel like I've just sort of dipped my toes into that, like awareness. Like I'm just sort of getting a feel for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's exciting.
And it is exciting and acknowledging, because we are so aware, and then like, oh, like the thing out of the corner of your eye, oh, it was nothing. Well, what if it was something?
Yeah.
And what if that's okay? Like, what if that's not terrifying?
Yeah.
I think that's a big piece that I'm looking forward to working on and like learning more about in the class. And I mean, Cassie, you and I have talked about this over the years, but I have a lot of fear around it, like around entities and working with them and talking to them, just because of the experiences I had as a kid and the things that I saw or can't see, or like my dreams. And sorry, my pup is losing her mind right now. She just is like, she's being aggressive. She's chewing on my carpet. These are things that she never does.
Our animals can also be aware of entities. So sometimes they're like trying to get our attention and say, hey, like take care of business.
Like, she's acting so weird right now. Hey, stop biting. No, thank you. But yeah, the fear piece, especially I think at night for some reason, like maybe it's because we're not as intensely focused on all the distractions around us. The world is quieter. And so we're forced to look like actually with our vision more intensely than we are during the day. I don't know. Maybe that's why like there's more of this stuff that sort of happens at night. It's quieter. There's less stimulus coming at us. So we're able to like perceive things,
Yeah,
is that a thing at all? Have you?
It is actually really, really, really common that people move through their day just naturally with lots of barriers to keep so many things, to keep themselves safe from so many things. People with bodies, people without bodies, like even like a salesman, right? Like you have barriers up against them. You have barriers against your mother-in-law. You don't want your kids to bother you. You put up barriers. So then when we lay down at night, the world gets quieter, like you are saying, Chris, and our barriers just drop as we drift off to sleep. And then sometimes those beings that have been trying to reach out to us, to communicate with us, will find a way then during that nighttime to be able to reach, to actually get through our barriers into our awareness. So they're always there.
Yeah.
It's just we're more successful at ignoring them in the daytime when we're like focused, like you said.
Yeah. Sorry, that just sort of popped into my head now. I hadn't really thought about it like that before, but yeah.
Yeah. So Linda, in case some people are watching this and going, well, I'm just going to try and have more barriers. The class itself, would they get tools to kind of handle? So it's actually, maybe they could have less activity during the night.
Yeah, this is what I freaking love. Like, I want to just get like all wiggly and excited, is that I love about Talk to the Entities, because it's all about, like, when you, let's say, go to a medium, you can have one message for this one time. But the tools of Talk to the Entities are actually putting tools in your hand so that every day you can take care of this. You can tend to I think of it like an ecosystem. Oh, it's part of your ecosystem. You can tend to that whole unseen ecosystem. You have the tools. And when you need more help, you can absolutely reach out to others around you, facilitators who have the tools and can ask you some questions, but you have the tools.
I would
So
like that.
Yeah. Shall we read a ghost story?
Let's do it.
Okay. All right. Since we're talking about nighttime. Years ago, I was staying in the apartment of a friend in Galloway in Ireland. As I was lying in bed, I could very clearly feel someone sit next to me on the bed. I totally freaked out and willed it away. I've never experienced it being so clearly. I could have probably seen an indent in the duvet if it hadn't been dark.
Yeah, hands up for everybody who's experienced someone sitting on their bed at night. Someone without a body.
Yeah. As a kid, I always had to have my feet covered, like even if it was warm, because I felt like something was going to grab my feet.
Yeah.
No, there's a blanket here. No feet touching.
Yeah.
I was big on feet too.
I've also experienced it with like you're aware of someone there, but you're in that paralysis state. It will accompany, that's common as well. If anybody out there has like night paralysis, there you go, Chris. Getting present with entities can actually really contribute to a good night's sleep. Letting go of your night lights if you choose. And I haven't had that sleep paralysis in years since I started using these tools.
Wow.
Really.
That is amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I picked that story because I've heard it from several people. Like I haven't personally experienced like a sitting on the bed like that, but my dad, when he moved into his place here in Kelowna, when he moved, he said that he felt like somebody was giving him a hug in bed, and like it freaked him out. You know, he sort of like laughed it off, but you could see his face was like, ugh. Because at first it's like nice, right? He was like, oh, that's snuggle. And then he was like, wait a minute, I'm by myself. Yeah, so and that's pretty old school. I was actually surprised that he even shared that with me, but that's just sort of a testament, I think, to how intense it was for him.
Wow. Was he staying in a place he'd never stayed before?
No, he'd been in that house for a while, but it was after like him and my mom had been split up for a couple of years at that point. Yeah. And he said, like, I think it might have even like reached over to like hold his hand.
Wow.
So I immediately didn't, like, I felt like, oh, that's like nice. Like that someone's just trying to comfort him, right? Like he's alone, and I know he desires, you know, a new partner, but didn't have one. So I was like, oh, well, that might have just been an actual friendly ghost.
A ghosty girl who is like, whoa, this one's single now.
Or a total creep. We don't know. I mean, it just tried to hold his hand. So, we don't know.
Yeah, a really simple tool when you don't know if it is a ghosty, someone trying to like comfort and contribute in a beautiful way, or someone who's trying to like harm you, is just to ask friend or foe.
Oh, okay.
It's a really simple, quick one, and then just trust what you get from awareness. Which one's later?
Okay.
Love that. Friend or foe.
Yeah, that's a pretty easy tool.
Yeah. Next time somebody's sitting on your bed.
Friend or foe.
Oh.
Casper? I had such a crush on the Casper, like that movie. So cute. It was like, oh Casper. That will whisper to me at night when I'm sleeping.
Oh gosh, like you're just tapping into how much I like longed for this whole world to be real when I was little. This whole unseen world to be real. Wow.
Whew.
That's so interesting. I think I had the opposite experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, because most of my experiences were really scary, the ones that I remembered anyway. And so I just was like, ooh, I don't want to see it. I don't want to know. Like, no, thank you. Everything in there is yucky.
That's actually part of the beautiful thing of a Talk to the Entities class is that we get to go back even with question and ask about what was actually going on and start to undo some of the PTSD that we have over these experiences and to get present with our own potency, even in the past, as we are willing to be it now today.
That would be great. Modern.
That's actually one of my entity awareness things is just not just crying, but having watery eyes.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Figured out your tells.
Yeah, you got to figure out your tells. That's such a great way to put it.
Yeah. Yawning is one of mine. I know that. So the tearing comes as a side effect of the yawning.
Yeah.
And cold, Cassie. You said you felt cold too.
Yeah, sometimes really cold.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was one of the first things that sort of weirded me out because it was, you see it in movies, right? Like a room will get cold or icy. And I was like, oh, that's silly. And then the first time I felt like cold swirling around my feet and I was working with Cass on something.
Yeah.
I was like, do you feel that? She was like, no. And I think the second or third time it happened, she was like, oh my God, I feel it. It's like a cold. I was like,
The thing is that like entertainment has taken things that are true, like that cold thing, and they've like kind of just like twisted it into something that's not real and true. So when you watch, like there's a fun little BBC comedy, just half-hour comedy called Ghosts. And it's so fun to watch because there's enough truth in it that it's just so interesting to recognize of like, oh, that's actually true. that isn't true. That is.
Oh no, I have to watch that now. That sounds awesome.
It's funny. It's funny. Do we got another ghost story before we go?
Okay. When I would go visit my best friend back in Regina in the mid-90s, she worked night shift in a private care home. It was a respite room, meaning many residents would come and stay there and also die there. So that's the room, if it was available, where I would have to sleep while she was working. And the 3 nights that I stayed there, there was an old lady with a bun that would rock in the rocking chair. It scared me at first. And then realized she meant no harm. I was new to entities at that time, and since then I've seen several ghosts over the years. And once I learned they meant me no harm, I told them I could not help them. They leave me alone, and I'm not bothered by them anymore.
Aww. There's something kind of sweet about this old lady just rocking in her.
And like a little bun.
Yeah, she's so cute.
I think it's interesting, though, that person shared the communication factor, though, right? It's like taking it from the fear to the awareness of like, oh, they're not, here to harm me. And then just being like, hey, I'm not the right person to talk to. And then off they go. I want to learn more about that.
When I started Talk to like my curiosity with Talk to the Entities, it was really just to like look after myself. We've talked about that, already this live, like getting more peace and calm. And the more peace and calm I've had in my world, the more I realize that then I get to be a gift to these beings who simply don't have a body anymore. And I get to contribute to them having more presence and peace and calm. And if they choose to make a new choice, like I get to contribute to them as well, which is like such a beautiful way to create a world of more peace and calm.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the little ladies in the rocking chairs with the little, we can give them a hand.
Yeah, I once read, I think it was the Talk to the Indies thing, where it was like, when your body dies and you pass, like, how would you want to be treated? And I'm like, oh, well, not ignored or like blamed or like all, I'm like, yeah, I would love someone to be like, oh, I can help you, or I can't help you. Someone else, just that.
Wow, I love that. I've often thought of that for myself too. I thought, man, I'm so brilliant because when I die, there are so many people who are going to have my back.
Yeah.
There are so many people who are going to have my back and contribute to me like in any way that I require. If I get a little bit confused crossing over, there are people who are going to be able to, like Cassie would be able to say like, hey, Linda, Chris, everybody, so many people.
Yeah, that's really cool. I've never thought of that. I like that.
Yeah. Wow.
Well, thank you, ladies, so much. This was really beautiful and inspiring, and I'm really excited for class.
I'm really excited for class and just these tools that we get to use every day. I'm so grateful. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So like Chris talking about fear, sorry, I started talking again, but it's like the tools, I've had my youngest kiddo used to be afraid of the dark. Until he's quite a bit older, he's not afraid of the dark anymore. Like he has the tools. He will facilitate entities at age 11, and it's like, like you, an adult, having to sleep with the light on, like we hide it, but a lot of us have stuff going on, and to have these tools where where else would you actually get to shift this?
Yeah.
It's kind of like, I might be schizophrenic. I have thoughts in my head all the time where it might be entity communication,
badass tools for as a parent too.
Yeah.
Like so pragmatic to be able to, when it's 3 a.m. and your kid is terrified, to be able to have like something to actually pragmatically give them. That's my friend Rhonda. Oh my gosh.
Should we read her message?
Yeah, I'm gonna do it. Rhonda and I hung out, like we're high school buddies, so you cannot imagine the shenanigans. Cassie has a great group called Shenanigans with Cassie, but you can't imagine the shenanigans that Rhonda and I have got into. And she's just saying that she loves this, being aware of the positive entities that are present in your world that are so calming. Oh, I love this. And coexisting with the negative ones is comforting for both entity and yourself. Oh, Rhonda worked in a prison for years.
Whoa.
So I had never actually thought of that. Wow. Oh, just open a whole other door of possibilities of like these tools at work, making your life easier. Oh my God. Okay. Come to class. If everybody else is excited about this as I am, come to class.
can we just go to prisons and clear entities now? I'm like, where can we go? This would be amazing.
Gosh, like talk about a different world. If you just did that, went to prisons and cleared entities.
Yeah. Or wherever you work, like
Yeah.
your job. Yeah. Yeah. Whew. Amazing.
Good one.
Amazing. You guys, thank you so much, everybody. We're gonna go now because we just, we're just gonna call it here. But thank you, everybody who has engaged with this.
Yeah.
Look forward to the next one. Okay.
Yeah.
Bye.
2 more weeks we'll be live together.
Yes.
Yeah.
Bye.